Hi, I'm Dana, and there is going to be background noise. Someone's doing gardening very loudly. I've been waiting for them to stop for a while. They're not, so I'm just going to have to film and do what I can in editing. And I'm very sorry, I can't fix it. There's a lot of things I can't fix as it so happens. One of the things that I've heard very consistently since my childhood is that the only consistent thing in the world is change. Everything will inevitably change eventually. Change is the only consistent thing, you know? Everything's always changing. Things are always progressing and being different. And I heard that a lot as a kid, especially because I've always been really distressed by things changing. You hear it all the time now. I know I'm autistic. It's talked about quite vastly within the autistic community that we struggle a lot with change. It's very distressing. It's very difficult to process and to deal with and to figure out. And I haven't seen anyone sort of put the two together because change is happening all the time, whether we want it to or not, and it is something that we as autistic people, it's something that everybody has to deal with, obviously, but a lot of people aren't feeling the same level of distress and confusion and the struggle to process it all and to deal with it. That's not the standard. And one of the big things that inspired this video, thank you Harry, was having a conversation with a friend where we were talking about how difficult it is when you're coming up to your period and your clothes don't fit right anymore, and also just experiencing weight fluctuation in general and having clothes just not fit right. I have, as you can tell from watching my videos most likely, I have my little selection of safe clothes, and they do change on occasion. It's not always the same safe clothes. They change according to the season and how warm I am and what I've recently bought and what feels like a good texture out of a wash and things like that. It is one of the things that does change. But change that I'm in control of is a hell of a lot nicer and easier than change that I'm not in control of. So I'm coming up to my period, so I've got 3 days now. I've already done 2, so hopefully it should stop soon, where even my biggest, stretchiest leggings press on my stomach in a way that just make me feel a bit sick, because I'm probably bloated. My tummy's a little bigger than it usually is, okay? And I don't mind that. I mind that the way that my clothes fit me feels different when I haven't intentionally changed them. You know, I don't want my clothes to feel different. I wear these leggings because they're comfortable, because they feel right, and because they're a safe item for me. And all of a sudden, they're not a fucking safe item because my body has changed ever so minutely and they don't feel right anymore, and they make me feel a little bit sick and they press in the wrong place. And that's just how I'm going to be with all clothes for a little bit. It's very much of my body is doing this now. And if any, unless I'm wearing a dress, which I don't enjoy the sensory experience of, something is going to be touching my stomach and that's going to be making me feel sick. And that's just how my body's decided to be at the minute. And that's the way it is for a few days before my period every single month. So every single month I have a few days of feeling extremely overwhelmed and overstimulated and I don't know what's going on. I just don't feel right. Everything feels really wrong. And then I'm like, oh, it's my period coming. It's just a little change. I think that's honestly one of the reasons I struggle so much with my period in general. It's just it's different, it's a change, it's a new thing happening to me, and sure, it happens every month, but it's not my normal day-to-day routine. It's a change. It's my body doing a different thing to what it usually does, and I don't fucking like it. In a similar sort of vein, my hair's growing, obviously, because that's what hair does, isn't it? It grows. It grows, and suddenly the hairstyle that you went to the hairdresser and paid a load of money for and dealt with the pure anxiety and sensory distress of being in a hairdresser's and having someone touching your head and touching your scalp and cutting your hair, and then that's different, and that's a whole thing that you had to get used to, and then very, very slowly it's a whole new thing to get used to again, and it's touching me in different places, and it's changed, and I don't fucking like it, but I quite frankly just can't afford to go to a hairdresser, and I do not trust myself to do it myself again. We saw how that went last time when I then had to go and spend 80 quid at a hairdresser to fix it, and it was way shorter than I wanted it to be, and it was really difficult to adjust to because I've never had short hair, and especially not that short before, and it was a whole thing. But for a lot of changes, I just very much retreat within my routine. When I'm doing better, my routine can be a little bit more loosey-goosey, and I can do a few more things, and I can change it up a little bit myself. Maybe I'll go for a walk in a new route, maybe I'll go to a new little group in town, maybe I'll even, if I'm really fucking brave, go to a new coffee shop. That's a big fucking deal, isn't it? That's insane, that's crazy, I know. But that's what I can do when things don't feel too much, and when I don't feel like I'm experiencing too much change. I can be I'm gonna do a little something new, I'm gonna change it up myself, and it's quite fun. But then there's times that I can't change my routine. Right now, we're coming into spring, so that means every single day it stays lighter for a little bit longer. And as much as I do recognise that that's nice, I do like it, that means having to adjust my routine, because I have the point when it starts getting dark and I close my curtains, I turn my lights on, I start cooking, and it's my little like evening routine that I do, that I start when it gets dark. So every single day my little evening routine is being pushed back a couple of minutes and a couple of minutes and a couple of minutes, and I'm like, I need to adjust this, because otherwise I'm gonna end up eating at like 11 p.m, you know? Like, I need to adjust my routine to fit with, like, it doesn't have to be dark outside for me to start my evening routine. But also it does, because that's how it's been. What do you mean it's just not? I can't be closing my curtains when it's still daylight outside. That's crazy and stupid and insane. I don't want to do that. No, I want to maintain my routine exactly as it has been. And in order to do that, I need it to stop getting lighter. I need it to stop getting lighter. I hate it. And it's one of those things that I know logically it's a good thing. I'm not the biggest, like, ooh, I love summer person. I don't like being too hot or too cold. It doesn't really make that much difference to me which one's happening. You know, like, I know a lot of autistic people really hate summer because they're too hot. I'm too cold for all the winter. All winter and autumn I'm too cold. All summer and spring I'm a bit too hot. It's just how it goes. I don't love it. It's not great. But, like, see, that's the thing, is I really enjoy the changes of nature. I really like watching the flowers come up. I really like watching the buds on the leaves form and the trees form and then start growing into leaves. I do enjoy, like, the changes of nature, but I think that's because I can sort of, like, ground myself within it and be like, okay, so change is a good thing. The leaves fall off and then we get to, like, have the pretty nice, like, autumn and winter time. Like, I definitely ground myself to some level within, like, the routine of nature. But it's so, like, the way that I'm having this struggle now, like, it's getting lighter, I don't know what to do about it. Once we hit winter, like, once I've done the spring-summer cycle, I will have, like, reformed my routine in order to work with that. It'll be a slightly different thing going on, but it'll make me feel safe and it'll make me feel calm and it'll regulate me, and it'll be a very similar routine to what I have now. In some way vaguely changed up to work with the fact that it stays lighter for longer now. I can have my curtains open, I could go for walks later, you know, like, I can alter my routine to be something that fits with the changes that are happening. And then in 6 months, when that's done, it'll suddenly start getting darker again, and all of a sudden I'll be off on my little walks and I'll be out doing my little things and it'll be fucking pitch black. And that's another change, isn't it? Like, not only is it getting darker earlier again, another big change, but also, going out in the dark is something that I don't do all that often, because it changes the way things look and I get fucking lost. I've only tried to go to my supermarket here in the dark one time and I got horribly lost for like an hour and a half, and it was an absolute fucking nightmare, and it was so overwhelming for me and it made me feel really incapable and stupid, and I didn't enjoy it at all. It wasn't a fun experience because the change of it being dark just completely threw me off. And it's not the type of, like, I think a lot of the time when we talk about change for autistic people, it is specifically the stuff that's like, oh, and now the autistic person's distressed, they're going to have a meltdown. And obviously, sometimes it'd be like that. But other times it's just like, this change has just thrown me off. My brain, like, cannot process this slight change, whether it's a change in routine, changing my plans, changing, like, just, like I said, it's gotten dark, my surroundings look different, and they haven't really changed, but they have, because it's dark instead of light, you know? All of that is just really difficult for my brain to process. And then it's really difficult for me to, like, do what I need to do while also processing that and, like, adjusting myself and just dealing with it all. And obviously I've done some, like, really massive changes lately, like moving to a completely new place. And it's the kind of thing where the first, like, week in this house was, like, really fucking rough because of the change and because it took me so long to, like, get my stuff out and to make it look like my space again. But it's one of those things where, like, when I move into a new space, as long as I have my things, I'll deal with it and it'll be alright, because I can make it look like my space. And sure, it's a different shell, it's different walls, but I can make it look like my space, and I can resume my routine, and I can make it feel normal and safe and right again. And that's massively because I'm prepared for big changes. You know, like, I know when I'm going to move out, so you have plenty of warning for that. I've packed my things, I know where things are. Like, I am able to put a lot of preparation into the big changes of life happening. And that's the only way I've managed to, like, survive them and get through them with any sort of, like, remote regulation of myself and to, like, deal with it, you know? But then there's lots and lots and lots of just tiny changes all the time that I feel like the majority of people don't even notice, but they absolutely fuck me up. Like the housemate that I had before last, one of the most difficult parts of living with them, and there were a lot of difficult parts of living with them, was the amount of times that I would wake up and I would go downstairs and they'd have just slightly reorganised the kitchen, the living room, the bathroom, wherever it is. It's all just slightly different. They've just changed it a little bit. And oh, isn't it so much nicer now? And like, yeah, it's lovely to have an organised house. Could you not have fucking warned me you were doing it? Because it does fill me with like a level of rage, to be quite honest. And it's one of those things where like I'm not annoyed that the person moved it. I'm not annoyed that the person changed something. I'm not annoyed at anybody for it. It just, the fact that things are different, the fact that things have changed, fill me with rage. I absolutely hate it. It just absolutely pisses me off, because why can't things just stay the same? Why can't it just be where I expected it to be? Like, that's the thing is as well, when I move into a new space and I put my things out, this is, like, I have more or less the exact same layout that I've had everywhere that I've ever lived, you know, and obviously it changes a little bit each time, but it's majority of the same things. They go in, like, similar places. There's things that, like, go in it, like, my books and then my DVDs and then my VHS tapes and then my cassette tapes, they're always going to be, like, together in the same space, you know? Like, change that I prepare for isn't easy. Change that I haven't prepared for, change that is just happening to me, change that just happens around me, I really deeply don't enjoy it, and it fucks me up quite a lot. We're going to look slightly different for the last couple of minutes because my memory ran out, but we're back. But yeah, I do think that, like, especially as someone who grew up experiencing a lot of change, like my parents moved us around a lot, I got sent to a lot of different schools, my dad opened and closed different businesses and had different people coming in and out of the house. Like, there was always something happening around me that was different to usual and outside of the routine, and it definitely fucked me up a bit, to be honest with you. It was deeply unpleasant, and it's probably a massive part of the reason that I really, really hate big changes now. And the way that I deal with any sort of change is I lean massively, massively on my routines. I will get very, like, I don't want to say necessarily strict or rigid with my routine, because I think that I do manage to keep it, like, fairly healthy still, especially since I've moved. I have, like, my little groups that I go to and little clubs, and they, like, happen, like, every 2 weeks or every week and things like that. So I'm able to, like, narrow down my routine into something that is quite low stress and low energy, while still going out and being a person, socialising with people and trying to, like, do healthy things. And obviously I incorporate, like, going out into nature and going for walks into part of my routine and things like that. So I massively, massively retreat into having a routine and trying to make every day look the same and trying to incorporate healthy things within that routine. And it's been a much larger struggle previously than it is now to do that. Like, I can do my little jigsaw puzzles, I can read books, I can do little arts and crafts, and like I just couldn't do that when I was in, like, a really shitty living situation with loads of change happening all the time, combined with, like, being in autistic burnout. Like, it's definitely something that has gotten easier. And I also retreat massively into my TV shows, and that's where, when I've been going through a lot of changes, a lot of the not so great friends that I've had in the past have been quite judgmental of how much television I watch, and I very frankly just don't think I would have managed to survive a lot of situations if it's not that I have these, like, comfort safe shows that I can just watch over and over and over, and they're always the same and they never change, and they're exactly how I want them to be, and I think they're perfect and I love and adore them, and they, even when everything feels like it's going wrong and life is absolutely terrifying, it feels like everything is just too much, my little shows are the same. And they're always going to make me feel the same way, and the characters are always going to be the same way. I'm not going to find out anything about them that makes me realise that they're actually an asshole. They're just exactly how they are, and that's how they're going to stay, and that doesn't change, and I love it. And it's also where every time there's discussion of, like, a Life on Mars Ashes to Ashes sequel coming, like, being done, it terrifies me, it horrifies, I don't want it, do not make it. I'm sorry, I know that, like, vast majority of the fandom is, like, so excited at the prospect of it. First off, I think it'll all fucking be about Sam Tyler, and I just very frankly don't give a shit about the man. I want Alex Drake. And also, I've had that be the exact same thing for, like, the last, like, what, like, 8 years now. It's been my main special interest. You can't just change it. You can't just add things to it. I don't want that. I don't like it. I'm not okay with it. I quite frankly think that if they ever do make it, which I don't think they're going to, because Dean Andrews told me, like, in person in front of me that it's not going to happen. If they ever did make it, I honestly don't think I'd watch it. I would make my friends watch it and then tell me how much Alex Drake is in it. And if she's in it a lot, I'd watch it. And if she wasn't, I wouldn't. Because the idea of it being different and them changing anything about the lore that I've created for it in my head, it would kill me. It would absolutely do me, and it would be it'd be way too much, and I hate the prospect and the idea of it. And that's also where it's pretty rare that I watch shows that like are currently coming out. Like Riot Women is the only show that I can think of on the top of my head that is like a currently like being made show that I watch, because I don't want newness. I don't want it to be new. It's actually like, even with like I'm very excited for season 2 of Riot Women. And I know that I'm probably gonna like have to take it slow and watch it fairly slowly, because I'm gonna be overwhelmed by the fact that there is new show, the fact that it's different, the fact that it's changed, the fact that it's not exactly the same as the first season every way. It's gonna be a weird, wild thing for me to watch. Like, even just that feels like a big change and a big new thing, and I'm quite frightened of it. But the more that I settle into my routines and find like and that's also where I definitely like, I just watch the same actors in things because I know that like they're going to make me feel a way. And even though it's new, it doesn't feel like it's quite so much of a change from what I usually watch, because like Sarah Lancashire's still there, Keely Hawes is still there, Judy Whittaker's still there, it'll be fine. But when it comes to like actual real life, once I set, like, I can find change beneficial, I think is the word I'm looking for. Like, I can accept that logically changing XYZ is going to make my life easier, better, happier, whatever else, and I will deal with it and I will do it. But I just won't enjoy a single moment of it, and it will feel very overwhelming. And even if it's a very positive change, I'm probably gonna have a meltdown over it and cry over it and like feel really just like wrong in myself as a person, because everything around me feels wrong, because it's different, because it's changed, and I just find it very difficult to deal with. So I retreat into my little routines. I try to make everything as like same every day as it can be. I watch the shows that I know are never gonna change and that are like always the same. And I try to get through life, and it's really fucking difficult. I don't enjoy an awful lot of it. Like, even like, I'm having to get used to using this mug because I fucking dropped and broke my giant Starbucks mug. And I had to like go out and buy myself a really nice expensive mug from, I specifically got it in Hebden Fridge because it's where Happy Valley and Riot Women are filmed. I had to like really relate it to my special interest and really hype myself up for it and like convince myself that actually it's the perfect mug in order to deal with the change, because I just want my fucking old mug. But even if I went to Starbucks and for some reason gave them money and stole another cup from them, which like, to be fair, would probably be more than the price of the cup, like it's not the same. It's changed, it's different, it will probably be small because let's face it, shrinkflation. Those kinds of changes as well, like when you expect your chocolate bar to be a certain size because it was always that size, when they change ingredients in my safe foods, all that kind of shit absolutely throws me as well. And I think, to be honest with you, there's probably a lot of things that, like a lot of the times that I feel very anxious and like everything is just all wrong and nothing's right and I don't know what to do with myself kind of thing. I think that is probably semi-regularly because something is slightly different, something has changed a little bit, and I can't necessarily tell that it's different or that it's changed, but it makes me feel wrong. Change of any sort just makes me feel deeply wrong, and like nothing's ever going to be right again, and like I don't know how to exist as a person or how to survive going through any sort of change, and it's actually all quite terrifying. And we deal with it, I get through it, it's a part of life. Change is the only consistent part of life, and you do just have to go with it. And it's horrible. It's horrible. I deeply don't enjoy it. I deeply don't like it. I don't think the majority of people realise how incredibly regular change is. Like, as much as we have the little sayings of like, change is the only consistent thing in life, I don't think people realise how many things feel like change for me as an autistic person. Obviously, everything as always is my point of view. It's me talking about me. Deal with it. And I'm very fucking done with talking now, actually. I don't know how long this video is because I had to do it in 2 chunks. So maybe it's very, very short, or maybe it's very, very long. I really don't know. But either way, I hope you like gain something from it. I hope that it's like triggered something in your brain to think about things, to be able to like make your life a little bit easier, things like that. I hope maybe you just feel a little bit better knowing that you're not the only person that struggles with change. It's a fucking massive thing for me as well. And so many things that people like maybe wouldn't register as change feel like big changes for me and feel quite distressing, and it's a whole thing. So I hope this has been useful or helpful to somebody. If you would like to see more content like this and talking about my abusive family, and I do have some more actual like fun creative sorts of videos that I'm hoping to do, like that I'm planning. I have thoughts, I have ideas. The channel's changing. Guess what, guys? Change is the only consistent thing in the world. So yeah, you can follow me, you can subscribe here, you can follow me over on Instagram or TikTok if you would like to see more content. You can also find me over on Ko-fi or Patreon if you would like to help me out financially, but you don't have to, it's all good, you can do whatever you want. So whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days.